know what to start with.
70, and they were still at the
You have your pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's already
So yeah, that main part should be in
gave
there.
brought my attention to how this can be a big deal. A whole year.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, and pretty much as you can see, the things that are going on in the world, all right, here it comes. Okay, we're at the point where these elites are now getting ready to crash the society. That's why you got gas prices going up. You know, you got inflation getting out of control. And I was watching the video of that was put up by the elder brother Karatza from Vegas, and he was basically it was a compilation of what was her name, something Helen, Janet Helen or something like that, and you know she's you know she's talking about this economy and all these things, and she's speaking on inflation, and last year she was saying that inflation was going to be transitory. You know, oh, inflation is not going to get out of hand, it's transitory. And now here we are, 2022, and things are getting completely out of hand. And she had to basically turn back and, in a way, try to retract her statement by saying that I was wrong. And, you know, now we're seeing the inflation now is different. But she's still trying to push that little, you know, that little transitory stuff in there. Okay, but now people are starting to see now, the thing about the crash that's happening right now is that people still trust the Fed. People are still hoping that they're going to come and present a solution to all this that's going on, that they're going to be able to come and turn all of this around. Okay, but when the Fed comes out, inevitably, which they will, and they come and tell you that, look, the way things are looking, ain't going to be no soft landing. There's going to be no way to really handle this, and there's no guarantee, because right now the dilemma that they're facing is either a recession or let inflation spiral out of control. So if the Feds come and hike up interest rates even more, that's going to make it hard to borrow money. It's going to make it hard to have money moving about freely, and that could lead the economy into a recession. Now, based on the way it's set up, that is their hope of bringing inflation down. But then there's the risk that you could cause a recession and inflation will still be up. Okay, so these people, these investors, you know, in the markets and so on and so forth, they're hoping that the Feds have a solution for all of this, but they're gonna get hit with that reality that there is no solution for all of this. And that's when everybody's gonna start running to gold, trying to get silver, and the prices of those metals are gonna skyrocket. Okay. But at the end of the day, here it comes. As a matter of fact, before you get that, you got your regular? Yeah, get Jeremiah 30:7 and Daniel 12:1. And we're going to keep bringing these precepts out because that's the time we're living in. All right? They were written so that we can make reference to them in this time. Okay? So we're definitely living in some very, very key times. And now is, as the scriptures say, high time to wake up out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. Because what's going to be the end goal of all of this happening, with the economy crashing and all of this? What's going to be the end goal of that? They're bringing in the New World Order. All right, and people look, they're blatantly coming out and telling you to your face, look, this is what we're bringing. We're trying to now forget God. You know what I'm saying? Forget the Bible. Forget how you knew things to be. This is going to be the new way of doing things. And whether you like it or yes, you're going to do so. They're talking about parents are going to be opting in 50 years from now. Parents are going to opt not to have children, and instead to have digital babies that can feel like real children and, you know, grow and speak and do all that like real babies. But if you get tired of it, you could just cancel it like a Netflix subscription. All right. help stop this overpopulation and environmental detriment. The hell is wrong with this guy? You know what? Last night, yesterday, I was sitting down in my room, and I was looking out the window at the sky, right? And I saw a plane. And obviously the plane looked real tiny, and just the frame of my window alone, if I looked at it, you could fit, I don't even know, close to a million planes in there because of how tiny it was. Now I know it's tiny because it's far, okay? But I was thinking about it, like, if you could fit in the plane, you got hundreds of people on the plane. So if you could fit close to, what, 500,000 or even a million of these little planes in this little frame over here, and in each plane you got hundreds of people, how is it that, and that's a tiny ass portion of just the sky. So how do you then turn around and say that there's overpopulation in the world? You think the Most High didn't, when he designed the world and he said, be fruitful and multiply, why do you think he said that? Wouldn't he have thought that in process of time we would end up in a overpopulated society? You got it.
No,
30 and 7, yeah.
This is Jeremiah 30 and 7. Alas, for that day is great. So that none is like it.
So Jeremiah is telling you that that day that he's talking about is the times that we are approaching right now. All right, as Yahushua described it as the beginning of sorrows. And there's a reason he said the beginning of sorrows. Because now we're entering into those sorrows and it's not looking good for this world at all. And yet, till this day, you still got people walking about all around, and they know these are troubles they're facing, but yet they're living like it's not happening. You know, people are walking around like prices are not skyrocketing, but see, when they can't get food to feed their kids or themselves, because inflation is going to turn to hyperinflation, then they're going to want answers. You know, then they're going to care. Then they're going to be looking for answers, but it's going to be too late. They're going to have armed guards at these supermarkets because people are going to be trying to break in there to steal. These gangs are going to be binding up together, robbing people. All right. And eventually the government is just going to start rationing the food. And in order to ration the food, they need to be able to identify who they're giving food to. That's when they come out with that digital ID that they're going to tie to whatever it is that you want. So soon when you go to BJ's and Sam's Club and there's no food over there, and there's martial law troops over there, okay, telling you, look, you know what I'm saying, what are you doing here? Step back. When they set checkpoints, set up checkpoints all around here, people are gonna realize, yo, life is much different than we thought it was. And they're not gonna know what to do. A lot of people are not gonna know what to do once this economy crashes. Because now that the answers are here, they're not listening, they don't care. So when the hard times come and they're looking for answers, the Most High is going to leave them out there, man. A lot of people are getting ready to die because of the calamities that are coming to this place. And death is not a light thing. Go on.
It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. And that's a term that you should always keep in mind, because it's something that you're not going to be able to forget. Okay? It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. So we're approaching the time of Jacob's trouble. We can see it as what's this guy? I think he's either with JP Morgan, but he said the way the economy is looking right now, there's a hurricane coming, and they're not aware if it's like a Superstorm Sandy or if it's just a regular hurricane. But we know it's going to be a worse than a Superstorm Sandy. All right, go ahead.
But he shall be saved out of it.
But he shall be saved out of it, and that he is talking about the elect. Okay. The elect are going to be saved out of it. Why? Because they've put their trust in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. They sought the Lord early. That was it. All right. Got you. Go now to Proverbs, the 1st chapter. You can start right around the 20th verse. You know, because that heed, people are going to find out that a lot of them are going to be excluded from that heed. All right. And it's going to be a denial that they're not going to want to accept. Who wants to know that there's food but you can't have any? You know? Or your life is in danger and there's protection, but you can't get access to it. And there's nothing you could do about it. The only thing you could have done was you had to be proactive. But since you weren't, now you're gonna have to pay for it. And you're gonna have to suffer. Because in 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, it says that which we could get after, but it talks about how nobody's gonna be able to save him that is destined for destruction, or prohibit him that is destined for salvation. Go on.
Proverbs 120.
Yeah. Let's start 20.
This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without.
Now we know wisdom is a spirit. right? Wisdom is not a actual. Here, let me get this ready. Damn, flies are coming back. Wisdom is not an actual person, okay, but it's a spirit. So it says what? Wisdom crieth without, meaning that the wisdom, the spirit of wisdom, is crying out here through the mouth of the prophets, okay, because we're uttering words of the wisdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai out here to warn the people before the calamities come. As the Lord, it says in Ezekiel the 3rd chapter, give them warning from me. So that's what we're here to do. But they're not taking heed to the warnings. Now look, when you're driving a car, right, and the warning signs pop up, and you don't take heed to the warnings, what you think is going to happen to you? Do you think because you don't take heed to the warnings that it doesn't mean anything? Eventually your car is going to get you in an accident because you didn't take heed to the warnings. So you people not taking heed to these warnings, that's going to come back and affect you. That ain't going to affect us. Our job is to give the warning, and that's what we're going to do. Go on.
She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse. In the openings of the gates in the city, she uttereth her words.
Her words. Now, just another notification here says, Russia will declare war against West if U.S. rockets touch any part of the country, because the U.S. is insistent. They said, hey, we still gonna send rockets to Ukraine, but we ain't gonna send them long-range rockets and so on and so forth. So they said, Russia said, all right, look, you only gonna add more logs to the fire. Now, if a rocket touches any part of our country, we declare war on you. So what's that? What's going on there? You know, what's that? And people are walking about like these Russians ain't about to start sending them missiles over here. They said, was it 4 of their Satan missiles, Satan 2 or whatever, can destroy the whole of the U.S. 2 of them could take out the whole East Coast. And people are walking about like everything is all good, and that's gonna happen. All right, the missiles are gonna fly, and this place is gonna be destroyed, man. All the scriptures say that the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and that's what's getting ready to happen. And you are part of the elements. You're gonna be a part of the fuel. When you're burning and your fluids and your insides are being used as more fuel for the fire. And then the Lord has said He's gonna leave you there so you can melt. So you keep playing around with the Lord and you see what happens. The scriptures say that the Lord is not a respecter of persons. And it also says that judgment must begin at the house of God. So brutal judgment is going to go out, and it's going to start with those that know they're Israelites and then everybody else. So just because you're in the truth now doesn't mean you're safe and protected. You still gotta give your diligence, and you ultimately gotta make it to the end. Because the Lord might say, all right, well, look at Judas, for example. The Lord might turn you into a Judas. You never know. So you got to have that fear for the Lord, man. You got to show, look, why didn't the Lord turn Peter into a Judas? You know, because Peter was useful for the ministry. Why didn't the Lord turn Paul into a Judas? Because Paul was useful for the ministry. Judas was a damn thief. Okay? So the Lord, if you prove to the Lord that you're an asset to His business, then it's more likely that He's going to utilize you for that business. If you're of better use for the Lord alive than dead, then He ain't gonna kill you, right? If the Lord says, look, this guy, I put him in charge of this and he's making me a lot of money, why would I take him from that position? You know, keep him there. I need him to make me that money. But you got this guy who's just around, you know what I'm saying? He ain't really doing shit. The fuck he's here for? You know, he's more useful to me if I turn him into a Judas than if I just let him be here. What's your purpose? You know, the Lord, look, the Most High, as the scriptures say, is not a respecter of persons. So He doesn't give a damn how you feel. He doesn't care, you know what? Oh Lord, but no. He created you. So there's no shyness and there's no let me hold off and no. The Lord does what He wants. That's why He is to be feared, because He does what He wants and He's unstoppable. You can't convince the Lord to do something He doesn't want to do. Even when it says like for example, Moses spoke to the Lord, or you know, the men of old prayed and the Lord heard it and repented. Originally from the start, the Lord wasn't going to do it. That's why He repented. But if He truly said nah, then He's going to do it. Go on.
Saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
Right. So these people here are simple. I believe in the book of Proverbs, the first chapter. Is it the first chapter?
Yeah.
What's the 7th verse? All right, it's not this one. I think it might have been the 7th. God damn flies, man. But it's all right. We can keep on going in here. But the scriptures talk about wisdom to give prudence, to the simple, right? Roughly paraphrasing. So how long these simple ones, Salaki, I'm gonna just keep, sweeping a bit because these damn annoying ass flies out here. You can catch one of these niggas. But anyway, as it says right there, right? Ye simple ones. They're simple because the scriptures say the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are destroyed. You see? So they're simple because they're not considering what's coming. They're not thinking long term. They're not thinking about any of that. They're just going about like everything is all good. Nothing is prompting them to say, yo, hold on one second. This is actual real facts. These men are talking about the things that are about to hit this place, and I live here. I go to the grocery store. I see the prices going up. I drive. I gotta buy gas into my car. I see how the prices are going up. So maybe they might know something about it. Let me stop and listen to what they're saying, because you know what? It might affect me in the long run. When I can't find food to eat. And that's what's getting ready to hit this place. A famine. A major famine. All right, keep going.
And the scorners delight in their scorning.
Yeah, you got people that like to scorn and scoff when they're comfortable. But you're about to be made the most uncomfortable you've ever been. You're not going to want to be scoffing at that time. See, it's easy to scoff. You turn on, your computer, you talk your shit. It's all funny and shit. Because you know what? Oh, I'm thirsty. Let me go to my fridge. Let me tape a potato chip to the back of my hand and make mockery. And then I'm going to eat the rest that's in the bag. Okay. Well, after 3-4 days of no food and no water, of people constantly coming for your neck trying to kill you, and you find yourself in an abandoned building somewhere in the last floor and it's dark as hell, and you hearing rats and shit around you, you're not going to want to be scoffing then. Okay? And knowing that the men that you were scoffing against are in a better position, they're taken care of, you're going to be afraid. You don't know where your family's at. You don't know when you're going to eat. You can't step out of this abandoned area because you're afraid that something is going to happen to you. See? Reality is going to set in, and people are going to realize that they've been wasting their lives. They've been fools. Go on.
And fools hate knowledge.
There you go. And fools. So how long are fools going to hate knowledge? One that is wanting in knowledge instead of seeking it, so you may know. These people would rather desire to remain fools. Go on.
Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you, because I have called and ye have refused.
Right. So the Lord said, look, if you turn to my reproof, if you take heed to what my men are saying, guess what? I'm going to make known my words unto you. I'll let you know. Whoa, that's what. If people stop, we're going to explain to them. Look, according to the scriptures, this is what's coming. According to the scriptures, not only is this coming, but your only way out of it is by taking heed. It's by turning to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. So we'll let you know what's coming and what to do. But people walk on by because they don't care. They're not thinking about these things. And this is one thing that I always think about is, hold on a second. Do they not see the news? Do they not see how things are getting chaotic? But people think that this is just a part of life. Like it's just gonna bounce back. The economy is gonna start doing better, because on the media they're telling you it's gonna be okay. That's not the truth. They're saying that there's gonna be rolling blackouts in the summer, and they're saying that by the fall, food prices are gonna be double that. When you go to other countries, you go to Sri Lanka, you go to Iran, you go to these other countries, they're having hell over there. And that's coming here to America. Do you not see what's going on in the news? But people don't think it's gonna get that bad. Well, go ask them people over there who, when they go on one meal a day, if they can get that, to see if life is easy over there. And instead of taking heed and starting to get ready now, they're going about their everyday of their lives. And that's what the scripture's saying, Luke 17:26. You don't gotta get it now, right? Let's finish in here. And they're gonna remember these warnings. They're gonna remember, oh yeah, we were walking past and they were telling us that these things are gonna happen.
This is Jeremiah 15:6. Thou hast forsaken me, saith the Lord. Thou art gone backward, therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee and destroy thee.
Right.
I am weary with repenting.
There you read that again. Read that again.
This is Jeremiah 15:6.
Uh-huh.
Thou hast forsaken me.
Right, so you've forsaken the Lord. See, people always want sign from the Lord, but they don't want to ever give anything to the Lord. They don't want to follow his directions. They don't want to fear the Lord. They don't want to obey his instructions. Go on.
Saith the Lord, thou art gone backward.
Thou art going backward. So the Lord gave us law, statutes, and commandments. He trained us up in the way we should go. He gave us leaders to guide us and direct us in a certain direction. But our people have gone backwards. You've regressed instead of progressing. All right, you've started to degenerate. Go on.
It's like the Lord, if I may say, the Lord has a light. He put the light in our path so that we can take it. But our people said, nah, let's go back into the darkness.
That's exactly what it is. Because who's the light? Ultimately, Yahushua. Okay? And the world would rather love darkness than the light. You see? Go on.
Therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee and destroy thee.
So the Lord is going to fight against Israel like an enemy. And that's what, see, Jacob's trouble and all these things going on, the Most High is really behind it. He's moved. Look, Esau is a piece on the board that the Lord is moving. Okay? And he's controlling Esau and he's setting him up to what? To come with the sword and come with the destruction. That's an example of the Lord stretching out his hand against Israel. Because he is what?
I am weary with repenting.
He's weary with repenting. He's tired of the, you know what, I'm going to have mercy on them. You know, and then they go and do some wicked shit again and I'm going to forgive them. No, he's tired of that. He's had it up. The Lord is fed up. All right? He's had it up to here. He's fed up and he doesn't want to hear it anymore. That's like if you tell, you're dealing with somebody and you keep warning them and they keep doing the same thing. They come back, I'm sorry, but I went and did the same thing you told me not to do that you forgave me 2,000 times for, and you told me that this was the last time you were going to forgive me, but I went and did it again. I'm sorry. Nah, get your shit and get out. I ain't dealing with that shit no more. You ain't sorry. If you were sorry, you wouldn't have done it again. See? So this time the Lord said, no forgiveness for you, destruction. Go on. You finished your precept? Yeah, get back in Jeremiah. Oh, stop your Proverbs.
This is Proverbs 1:24.
And whatever y'all got too,
Because I have called and ye refused.
So the Lord said he called it. So how did the Lord call? By the prophets. And people are refusing. Look, we come out here every week. We do videos all throughout the week. There's no excuse that, oh Lord, I didn't hear the prophets. I didn't see the video. You did. Everybody knows about us. So the Lord is calling by sending us out here to give the warning, to give the message. Right? Can the brother get Revelation 3:20 to back that point up? Because that's how the Lord is calling you. These words are knocking on the door of your mind. For you to listen, everybody walking by hears the knocking. You got it?
Yeah. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock.
Right, and that's the Lord, Yahushua. So how is he standing at the door, and what door is that? That's the door of your mind. There's another scripture that says that you're going to hear a voice behind your ear telling you this is the way, walk ye in it. 30 and 20? Gone, the water. You just keep reading on that. So the Lord said,
And I stand and knock at the door.
I stand and knock at the door. So what door is that? That's the door of your mind. And how is the Lord knocking? By us prophesying onto you. So whenever people start walking by and they start to hear us, there's a knocking going on. Knock, 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 knock. But they walk on by. They leave the door closed.
To go a little deeper on what you just, my bad for out of breath.
Nigga.
I was just running up the stairs. But just to go a little deeper on that, what you just quoted, Revelation 3:20, I knock at the door, and if you let me come in, I will sup with you.
Yep.
Now, when you go into that, when you let someone in, you told us about that book, Manners and Customs. It's in that book. Now, when you let someone come inside your house, right? Now, you wouldn't just let anybody come inside your house. If somebody will come inside your house to be a friend of yours, someone that's close to you, or someone that you can sit and eat with. He says, then I will sit and I will sup with you. Now, if you notice in a lot of these black movies like Tyler Perry, something like that, when people have beef at the table, they can't stand each other. They can't eat there because they be like,
Right.
it's fucking right. And then you always have to eat, be like, y'all need to make up your side. And then they'll just start arguing, man, fuck this. Walk away. So when he says, I was sitting, I was suffering, meaning that, like Yahushua said to the disciples, I call you not servants, but friends. So I'm sitting there at the table with you, I am now your friend, and we can sit and communicate. Because before, there was no communication because there was heat, there was anger there.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's like today, you take somebody out to eat. You know, you ain't gonna take your enemy out. Oh yeah, let me take you out. This is nice ass spot. We can chill. Because what happens when you eat? You look, man. I don't give a damn what it. You ain't gonna sit there. That would be the most awkward ass time out ever. If you just sit there and eat. When you tell somebody, yo, I'm gonna take you out to eat, it's not literally we're just gonna sit there and eat. Nobody says anything. You just quiet. I'm quiet. The food is there. We just eating. When we're done, we quietly leave and that's it. No. Eating is really about the conversation we're gonna be having. If you take a chick out, right? You know, you take her out dinner, wherever you're gonna take her, you're not just gonna take her out just so she can eat. If that's the case, she can find her ass, take her ass back home and cook and eat. You taking her out so that you guys can communicate. So you can get to know her, she can get to know you over the food. You guys can talk and sup. That's a part of the supping. Okay? So in essence, when the Lord comes to sup with us, guess what? He's, you know, we dining. But that supping is your understanding of the scriptures. That remember, the Lord told Ezekiel to eat the whole roll. So how do you eat the roll? You eat it with your mind. So that's why the Lord is going to be supping with us in the mind. Okay? So yeah, finish on that.
And if any man hear my voice, they open the door.
And that's the spirit, because it goes to show you why these people don't open the door for the Lord. Because the scriptures say, my sheep hear my voice. So if you're not of the Lord's sheep, you ain't going to hear the Lord's voice and you ain't going to open the door. So that's how you know a lot of these people are not of the Lord's sheep. Right.
I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me.
See? And we'll sup with him and he with me. And that's going to be the spirit of the Lord working with you. And that's on many levels. Into your decision making, into your thought process, all right, into how you deal with people, into the things that goes on in your life. All right? It's all a process. Okay? And the more you sup with somebody, the more familiar you become with them, the closer of friends you guys become. So that was it on that. Let's go back.
Continuing, Proverbs 1:24. Start again. Because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded.
Right. So once again, how did the Lord call? Through the mouth of the prophets. And no man regarded. They walk on by as if there's nothing going on.
But ye have set at naught all my counsel.
So any counsel we get from the Lord, they don't care. They put it to the side. It doesn't affect them. It doesn't involve them. Why should they care? Go on.
And with none of my reproof.
And with none of the Lord's reproof. You guys got to repent. You got to come back. You're Israelites. They don't give a damn. Okay? Nothing that we say is going to get through to these people. So the only language they speak is violence. And that's what the Lord is going to give them through these elites. Go on.
I also will laugh at your calamity.
Right. So now the Lord's letting you know, look, I'm going to become an enemy to you. I'm not going to look to help you when you're suffering. I'm going to laugh at you. Because when I was ready to give you the help, you laughed at me. And you laugh at the Lord through his men. You know, by scoffing against us, making jokes, like it's all funny and shit. Okay, well, guess what? We all here. We all dealing with inflation, which is about to become hyperinflation. We all dealing with high gas prices. So who's laughing now? The only difference is the Lord's going to deliver us, but you're going to be out here. Then who's going to be laughing? Go on.
I will mock when your fear cometh.
Right, the Lord said he's going to mock when your fear cometh. So while you in desperate straits and you need help and you're suffering and you're asking and begging, ain't gonna be nobody there to help you. There's only gonna be people there to make it worse. Go on.
When you fear,
because look, you gotta think about it like this. The Lord is able to mock you even through events. You're very, very thirsty, right? Oh my gosh, you're so thirsty, and you finally see a truck. After walking for so long, you see a truck, and on the cover of the truck is just water. You know, it says like fresh agua. You know, so you hit the truck, it's abandoned. You lift the truck, and the shit is empty as hell. That's a mockery. You're thirsty on the verge of death, and the Lord is like, all right, yeah, make it look like there's some water over there, and it's not there. And he's playing tricks with you while you need help. And of course, he's going to mock you through his prophets as well. Because the Lord ain't going to literally jump off his throne and come and point at you like, oh, nigga, look at your ass. Get the fuck off me, nigga. No, he ain't going to do that. Okay, but we're going to witness these things, and we're going to know that, yeah, the Lord is doing that to you because of your disobedience. Go on.
When your fear cometh as desolation.
When your fear cometh as desolation. So that means that what? The things that you're afraid of are actually ultimately going to destroy you. It's not going to be just to scare you. Go on.
And your destruction cometh as a whirlwind.
And a whirlwind is very destructive. Go on.
When distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me. But I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me.
So people are going to be calling on Jesus, God, Allah, Buddha, Jesus Christo, and all these names, and trying even calling on Yahweh Bashem El Shai. But the Lord said, "What? I will not hear you." So you're gonna call on the Lord, but He's not gonna answer you deliberately, not because He doesn't exist, but because He's choosing not to. If I'm standing right here and the brother's calling me and I don't answer, does that mean I don't exist? No, I'm right there, but I'm just not answering. Go on. And that's what's going to happen to these people. A lot of you use the name of the Lord in vain. You know, because right now, you know, it's almost like to the outside world, if you're not spiritual, there's no real differentiation between who is sincerely using the name of the Lord and who's not. Like I mentioned, to the outside world, right? So somebody who the Lord may not be dealing with could still be using his name. And then in that time, that's when we're going to find out, because when we call on the name of the Lord, there's going to be a different reaction than when others call on the name of the Lord. And that's when you're going to know, okay, the Lord is dealing with these men. 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Go on.
Verse 29. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord.
So why is the Lord not going to hear you? Because you hated knowledge. You didn't choose the fear of the Lord. You chose what you delighted in, and that's okay. But here it comes. Here are all these things happening. Now we don't even got to say anything anymore. You can just look around you and see what's happening. Go on.
They were none of my counsel.
And all the Lord was counseling you to do is to do the right thing so you don't get destroyed. But people love to do the wrong thing and then complain when they get hurt. You see the madness? Go on.
Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way.
Which is corruption. And of corruption, they're going to reap death. Go on.
And be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them.
Yeah, the turning away of the simple shall slay them. Because what are you turning away from? You're turning away from salvation. The Lord got his hand out to you and you slapping it, you know, get that away from me. You know, you pulling the shoulder away. Go on.
And the prosperity of fools shall destroy them.
The prosperity of fools shall destroy them. So people think that they're making it now. I got a good job, I got this, I'm all good, but that's going to slay you, because your good job is not going to save you from inflation. When the foods run out in these stores, because that's what's about to happen, how are you going to eat? Is your good job going to... You may have money, but if there's no food to buy, how are you going to eat? How are you going to feed your family? How are you going to survive? When people start breaking into these houses, what are you going to do? See, people never think about these things as though it's not reality. But this is a very, very real reality. Go on.
And the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely.
Right, so those that take heed to the Lord, they're going to dwell safely. As it says in the Apocrypha, that they're going to be merry and have abundance, while the rest don't have anything at all. Like in that SpongeBob episode where Squidward starving his ass off, and SpongeBob and Patrick are just indulging in food with surplus. They full and there's surplus over there, and Squidward can't even have a bite. His lips are dry and crusty as hell. You know, he's growing peach fuzz on his face. You ever seen an octopus grow peach fuzz, or a squid? You know, but he's stressed. This man, you know, he's you know, hey, you know. So that's what's going to be happening to a lot of these people. They're going to be thirsty. They're going to have dry throats, looking for ways out, and ain't going to be no way out. Because if the Most High says there's no way out for you, then guess what? There's no way out for you. Go on.
And shall be quiet from fear of evil.
That's right. So you ain't gonna be hearing us, out here. Oh Lord, please, nah, we ain't doing that. We're not putting our necks on the line for any of you. If look, the Lord is about equal opportunity, ain't he? The same way we getting the message, we giving the message, right? So everybody has had the opportunity to hear this word and to go about and do what they got to do. So if you didn't take heed, what the hell is your problem? Yeah, go ahead.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3.
Matter of fact, start
I
at the
ain't
top.
bring it up. Okay. I thought brother.
Nah, you good.
Chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower.
Right, because we're watchmen. As a matter of fact, can the brother get Isaiah 62 and 6? And that's going to back up what the brother just said. Okay, to stand upon your watch. Why? Because the Lord has set us up to be watchmen. So what is our number one job as prophets? We're supposed to be watching. Because we know what's about to happen. Yeah, we're warning the people. But we're also, it's like a watchman that's on a high tower. Now the watchman knows what to look out for. But he's there not just because he knows what to look out for, but he's there to warn when the things that he's supposed to look out for start happening.
Like a weatherman.
There you go.
We the natural meteorologists. Like the Lord appointed us to warn y'all.
Yeah, God. So if I know what are the dangers to look out for, if there's a band of tigers pulling up or an army of another nation pulling up, that's danger. So when I see that, am I going, oh, well, I already know that's danger? No. The second I see that, my job or the importance of me being a watchman is to sound the alarms that, hey, there's danger coming. So, yeah, read that. Brother, you got it? All right. Yeah, 62 and 6.
This is Isaiah 62 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem.
So who are the watchmen? The watchmen are in this time the prophets, because Jerusalem was a fortress city, meaning that there were walls around Jerusalem, okay, that would protect us in why do you think? And oftentimes there was always sieges. We always had like the siege. When the Babylonians besieged us, when the Romans besieged us, because we had a wall, okay, that would be able to withstand that. And so when you had a defense city, that's what Jerusalem was. It was a defense city, and it was on a mountain. So it was harder. Like Megiddo was also on a mountain. We always talk about 70 AD, but the Jewish-Roman wars didn't end at 70 AD. You also had another one, I think, around 136 AD or so. You had the Siege of Masada, which was one of the strongholds. Okay, and now the problem with that was that it was up on a mountainous range, and it was defensed. So the Jake up there had the height advantage. So you had these troops that had to go upward, and it would be harder for them to fight an uphill battle. Like they say, you're fighting an uphill battle. There's a reason that's used to say that you're fighting a losing battle. Eventually they still got them, but it was like a war tactic. So when the Lord said He had set up watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, in the ancient world we actually had big, tall, giant walls around Jerusalem. I believe there was like three different levels of it. When you read in the book of Josephus, it tells you that when Titus, and the Roman armies came through, it took them a long time, because they first had to break through the first wall and then had to try to get to the inner wall before they could get to the inner area, before they could reach where the sanctuary was. So in this time, that wall is not physical, just like the temple is not physical. But we're here, and the wall represents basically the information that we're giving out right now. Okay, so we're on that wall, and we're watching the signs that are happening in the world. Go ahead.
Isaiah 62 and 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night.
Right, so now you can't be a watchman if you don't know what to watch for. If they tell you, look, when you see an army coming, warn us, you're like, what's an army? They're going to tell you, my man, pack your stuff, go back down, go find something else, you're not fit for this. If you see wild animals coming, what's an animal? Bro, listen, go back, don't even come back here no more. So you can't be a watchman if you don't know what to watch out for. So a lot of these people, as the scriptures call them, they're dumb dogs. You get dogs, you know, really for alarm. Dogs are very useful, but in this society, they take the natural use of everything and turn it into something else. People just get dogs nowadays just because I want a dog, like, just so it can sit around and I can make TikTok videos with it and shit. You know, record a husky looking, you know, guilty. You know, who chewed the headset? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to make eye contact and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people get dogs for. But dogs are useful. Dogs were used to herd the sheep. Okay, dogs were used as an alarm system. Okay, so the Lord called them dumb dogs because they can't bark. They can't warn you. But we can warn you. So, being that we've been given the knowledge on what to warn about, our job is to be on that tower, constantly watch. What did the Lord tell us? Watch as well as pray. So we are to constantly watch and to give warning. Read that again.
Isaiah 62:6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace.
When somebody tells you to hold your peace, it's pretty much in a roundabout way to tell you to be quiet. Don't speak anymore. All right, whatever. Like when somebody tells you hold your thought, that's like that. Okay, so hold your peace. Now the scriptures say we're never gonna hold our peace. That's why we're always going into these things, constantly going into the same things, going into current events, going into prophecies, breaking down these scriptures. We ain't never gonna stop doing videos until the Lord says stop. You know? So we're never gonna hold our peace. We always got something to say. And people don't like that, but that's okay. It ain't about you.
Huh? So trying to shut us up with flagging us on videos,
right,
and, you know, discouraging us with, you know, Romans coming at us and stuff like that. We even have people who say, oh, you too close on the sidewalk. Y'all gotta give pedestrians how many inches on the sidewalk?
I don't even remember.
Like maybe 10, 15 inches. We'll just move back and continue on.
Right.
You know, and that's just us not holding our peace because we the watchmen.
Right. Yep. Because if we don't give the warning, who's gonna give the warning? I mean, you know, these niggas now, they don't even deserve the warning. But at the end of the day, guess what? The Lord is fair, and we got to give the warning. Or else our ass is on the line. What's gonna happen to a watchman that doesn't sound the alarm? After everything is said and done, and the rest of the civilians that survive, who you think they're gonna come after? This nigga right here. You the reason my wife is not alive anymore. Because what you fell asleep on the job. This nigga said he felt, yo, pass me that brick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's what the Most High's gonna do, yes, sir?
Yeah, that's the spirit. I just had a dream about the famine of the word.
Oh shit.
It's gonna be a scary time on that day. And people, like, just as the scriptures say, people are really gonna be like willing to kill for the word. It's gonna be like you're dying of thirst and you just can't quench it. That knowledge that you're looking for, those answers that you need, you literally won't be able to find it in that day unless the Lord, of course, blesses you in that time and you're just of the elect. That's what that would be.
God, hey, no, that's a bad point, man. That's why it says that in Amos 8 and 11. If they shall run to and fro, the Lord said he's going to bring a famine of the word. You got to actually think about it, because there's a reason why he put it in that metaphorical sense. A famine of the word. Just the same way people desire food during the famine, that's how they're going to be desiring this word. And the example is, yes, go on. And I'll give you an example of how curiosity can be so, it's almost like you're thirsty for water, right? So say oh shit. Say you what's a good example? Okay. Say you got your woman, right? There's this chick you're dealing with, and you know y'all real close or whatever, and one day she comes home and she's all sad, she's crying, you know what I'm saying? Her clothes are kind of ripped, you know, and she's just crying and shit. And you're like, yo, what happened? And she starts telling you the story. So she says, yo, you know, she was at work and, you know, it was a closing shift and it was just her and her manager. And he'd been trying to flirt with her and shit. So one time, you know, she goes to close and he comes into the room and he closes the door and locks the door. And then she says, and then she stops and then she just starts crying and shit. And now you sitting there like, yeah, you're concerned, but your main concern is, and then what? What happened? Why is your clothes ripped? Why are you crying? And what happened after he locked the door? That's what you want to hear. But she ain't gonna tell you. She just keep on crying every time she gets to that point. at that point, you're like itching. You're itching because you want to know. Now, originally, you want to do something to this person, but you want to know what extent. What did this nigga do? See? I don't wish that upon anybody, but I'm giving an example as to how certain events, that's why they said curiosity killed the cat. I mean, the cat was so curious, he wanted to risk his life. You know, it's just a metaphorical saying, but you got to think about it. So that's how it's going to be. It's a good point that the brother brought out. The Lord is going to make, he's going to make his word desirable. And not just desirable, he's going to make it a necessity to live. And these people are not going to have it. And that's going to make us more precious than fine gold. Because we're going to have the necessity to live.
The scriptures say our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. But we know that the knowledge of the statutes and commandments is really where all of that comes from. So if it's not coming from the scripts, you know you're gonna be destroyed.
That's right.
That's it.
Quick thing I want to say, testimony about yesterday. 2 times I was confronted with the truth of us being Israelites. Earlier in the day, I was in Brooklyn, and a brother walked up to me. And he was like, "Hey, never saw a brother, young brother." He was like, "Are you an Israelite?" I'm like, "Wow, like where did that come from?" I didn't have no comments or nothing. And I was like, "Where did that come from, bro?" He was like, something about your spirit and your beard. And I was like, "Well, it's funny you asked that, because yes, I am." And he was like, "Hey, bro, I'm a Hebrew too." It was a young brother, and I heard their conversation, and they were talking about some worldly shit. So for him to just walk past me and was like, "Hey, on Nostra Ave," and I'm not from over there, you know, I'm not familiar to be talking to like that.
Right.
But he stepped to me and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I know I'm a Hebrew Israelite, but I just need to get the proper teaching or the right camp to go to." And he was like, where you get the school at? And I was like, "Well, we teach on the streets. And whoever need to tap in, I gave him info, But the second occurrence was on my block, on Sampson Avenue. We talked before. A brother walked up to me. He was like, "Hey, man, I see you all the time. I want to say what's up to you. I just want to let you know, I got with one of my brothers, and I'm about to join the Israelite faith too."
Oh, yeah?
And I'm like, "How you know I'm an Israelite?" 2 times in a row. So the word is going to be desirable at that time. And that was just the only testimony I wanted to give.
I have a funny story too. Just speaking about the spirit that could be on you, where people would like notice just through the spirit, which some call like the sixth sense, intuition, all these sorts of things. I'm like working, right? I'm walking down the block, and there's this Muslim brother that walks past me, and he asked me, "Oh, you know where this building is? Like this new, like I guess it's some kind of monument or something like that that was recently built." He's asking me if I know where it's at. I'm like, "Nah, I don't know." He's like, "You don't know?" No. He's like, "You know about Islam?" I said, "No, I don't know. I don't know about Islam." He said, you know, he gave me the angry face. He said, then right, he walked down the block and then he looked back. He said, "You know about 9/11?" I said, "Yeah." He said, like, "Yeah, no, everybody know about 9/11. They tell us every damn year. I don't know everything that's going on in Islam, but I'll tell you this. I know that you're not the son that you think you are from Abraham. Right. You're completely wrong. That's a total different bloodline. You're going off, Jake."
Yep. And you see Jake going the hardest in that stuff. You know, and they fighting more for Ishmael than they are for Isaac. You know, and the promises of Isaac. Yeah, but it shows that they're lost.
I'm gonna give a testimony as well. I worked at an old spot, and this guy would keep looking. And in my head, I'm like, "Why does this guy keep looking?" And he just approached me and said, "Hey." And he was kind of like a feminine Jake, but he came up to me and said, "Hey, you Muslim?" I'm like, nah. And he was kind of what you think. And kind of give me the rock like the. I'm like, what? Like, he did it multiple times. Like, "You sure you're not Muslim?" I'm like, "No, I'm not Muslim." But they can see something. Just they can see like you're into something. But it's like, and they know it's not like nothing regular. They know it has to be something what they call spiritual or religious. Right. Because like, why would you ask me if I'm Muslim out of all things? Yeah. Like, why can't I just be a normal person?
Right.
And then for you to come back and be, it's like,
It's a zeal not according to knowledge.
That's right. They can sense that. So how much more for in the time when the Lord said he's gonna make us shine in the earth, you know? In that time of Jacob's trouble, look, people see it now, and we literally blend in. Once this comes off, we walk down. Ain't no there. We look, people walk in mass, especially in these neighborhoods. There's always somebody walking down the street, and they don't care who you are. So for people to be able to recognize some difference about you in this time, what you think they're gonna see? Matter of fact, this might get on Isaiah 13 and 12. What you think they're gonna see then? You know, the Lord, the Lord, because look, majority of people are gonna be hungry. They're gonna be looking malnourished. They're not gonna have the resources to take care of themselves. Men are gonna be looking crazy. Women are gonna be looking crazy, because in the society, they got them lineups. They line up their beards, their face. They got so many men fix themselves like women, you know, in this society. So when all hell breaks loose and everybody's looking, you know, hellish, we're gonna be looking good, because the Lord said we're gonna eat, we're gonna drink. So our countenance is going to be looking fresh, like Daniel, right? When he was there and he didn't eat the king's meat, he ate the pulse. Yeah, he did the fast, and they came out looking stronger and better than the rest of the other children. See, so in that time, the Lord is going to highlight his men even more, and it's going to be more than obvious the second you spot them that you're going to know, boom, yeah, nope, there's something different about them. And that's just the outward look, before how we move, before, you know, the direction we go in. So in that time, man, the people are going to desire it, because their lives are going to be on the line. A lot of these alternative media sites, they're getting a lot of subscribers and a lot of viewers and a lot of followers. Why is that? Alex Jones site, you know, Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute. Why do you think a lot of these sites are blowing up? Because people are seeking answers and they're not getting it from the mainstream media. Even our videos, more and more people are coming, subscribers are going up, people are asking questions, because they're starting to see that, yo, there's something going on. You know what I mean? It's like if you look at the news and the meteorologist tells you, no, it ain't gonna rain today. Then you look up and the skies are mad dark. You hear thundering and lightning. So you sure it? I said it ain't gonna rain, bro. Calm down. But then if you hear somebody else saying, nah, it looks like it's gonna rain today. Nah, I'm sure it's gonna rain today. You gonna start leaning more towards them, because you like, from the clouds, the thunderings, and what this guy must be tripping. I'm not going to you no more, man. I'm going to these guys, and that's what you see happening. And that's why Bill Gates said they're losing the information warfare. They're losing the info war, because their enchantments are wearing off.
It's like that movie that just came out on Netflix, Don't Look Up.
Oh yeah.
They literally showed you the whole dynamic of how they persuade the masses through the news.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was the Republicans who was trying to keep people from looking up. When it was normal people was like, nah, something going on up there. I could see that. There's a whole asteroid coming to hit the Earth, and the government was just trying to make people not look up, because for whatever reason, they was just like, we know the truth, but we can't let the people of Earth know the truth. Right. That's what they do with suppressing the info that they know about charity.
Yeah.
That's
It's been like, it's free somewhere online. Spoilers. Yeah, I spoil movies on. Yeah, to add what he was saying about the movie, there was a meteor that was coming to hit the Earth, and at that, like, I think the point that you were saying, where they was like telling people not to look up, I think it was like the last couple, maybe 20, maybe 25 minutes of the movie, and you could see the light from the asteroid coming, and they kept saying, don't look up, it's a lie, don't thing it. And it's like, yo, if you just look up, right, you'll see it. And that's the same thing. It's like, yo, look around, and you'll see all the prophecies. Yep. The same thing that's written in the book is right here. Just like the scripture say, be circumspect, look around.
Yep.
But I mean, people make excuses. Right, the gas is going to go back down soon, or inflation is the economy is going to fix itself, and people just make shit up. Inflation is good. They it's like they're looking around, but they're ignoring it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's like they look at the asteroid. No, that's not what it is. That's the hologram, the government drones. That's a drone. That's what they do.
They had a campaign on trying to keep people deceived with stuff like you just said. Oh no, that's not real. That's a hologram. The 1% was keeping everybody, like, they paid billions of dollars to keep the lie going. And one thing for sure, when it comes down to this truth that we deal with, they do so much to keep what we saying suppressed. They don't literally snatch us off because it was the Lord's will not to snatch us off. But what they do is call us conspiracy theorists, and you know, when you put in that category of being a conspiracy theorist, nobody's gonna believe it.
Right.
So right now, that's what we are. We are people that they have a campaign on saying, yeah, look at them guys, they're wacky, they're that, and their smear campaign ain't even holding no weight because you got people who know the truth is coming about. You know, it's submerging or emerging because when they walk past us, they give us that.
Right.
They don't even have to say nothing. And some of the stuff that we have to say is detrimental to their benefit or their future, but they still acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just thankful to be on that side of being aware and knowing that what these scriptures say is the truth.
That's right. That's right. And see, the thing is, a lot of these people, they're willing to believe that the asteroid is not an asteroid because they're really afraid and they don't want it to be true. So they're hoping for a lie that they can believe. And when people walk by and they just nod their head, oh, yeah, preach. Okay, what are you doing though? You know what I mean? I'm preaching. I'm fighting for my salvation. But you telling me preach won't feed you during the famine. The Lord comes back, what did you do? I said preach. A couple of times I walked by, I just told him to preach and stuff like that. No, all right? Yo, get this guy out of my face, man. You know?
Matthew 13:21. Not everyone that says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
And that's what people fail to understand. Your deliverance is not based on what you think it is or what you think you're doing. It's based on how the Lord is receiving what you're doing. Because look, you can be putting in work all you want, but if you're not doing it the way the Lord wants it to be done, then he don't give a damn. You got to do the works that are pleasing to the Lord. It's not just doing the works, it's doing the works that are pleasing to the Lord. Okay? Look, you can say, look, I cook for my man. But if your food don't taste good, it's not guaranteed that you might be there for long. See? You're still cooking, you're still feeding him, but there's a way to do it. That's why you have directions. Like Trump said, these people are the reason you got directions on shampoo bottles. Because, you know, it's simple, but you got to tell them anyway. You got to spell it out for them. Yeah, somebody going to come back, well, it says you got to wash and rinse. Why don't you rinse and wash? Why you got to use the conditioner after the shampoo? Why can't you condition your hair before the shampoo? Why would you want to do that, bro, when the instructions tell you what? No, I'm just saying, bro, you got to question everything. That's Jake. This nigga actually gonna try it.
They'll give you 1,000 questions.
Yeah, 1,000,000 questions.
Don't see no answers. Like when you give them the answer, but why you know
Right.
Another topic.
Right. Yep. Because they got questions, and they never got answers for you. But when you give them the answer, they're gonna tell you. Look, don't ask us no questions. So when we tell you the answer, you can tell us no, we wrong, and ask another question. You know. Here it is. No, you see that all the time. Look, you do a video, like you do a video saying, breaking down a certain topic. Somebody gonna come on the comment board and tell you, so what does this mean though? Like the Elder Manatazak did a video on God being evil, something along those lines, right? Or killing, you know? She don't come and so what does that really mean though? The video was over an hour long. You gonna watch the video, I'm sure he covered all the aspects of it. You gonna come on the comment board, so what does that really mean? You know why? They don't watch the video. They look at the title, they watch like 5 minutes in there, and then they're gonna throw a comment that shouldn't be there, because if you had watched the whole video, then you would have seen it. You know, Jake just jumps on there like everybody gotta stop what's going on because they're here. You know, they'll jump on the live stream, what's going on here? What's going on? What's this about? What's this about? You know, and we gotta stop. Oh, well, stop. Okay, yeah, come down. So this is what we're doing. No. If you want to know what's going on, just listen.
I believe last 2 weeks ago on the live stream, camp, this guy just came up and saying, so when's the zombie apocalypse?
Bro. Oh, it's coming. You might be one of them. You never know. See, people think of zombies as the undead and shit. Really, a lot of you are zombies. Now, will there be a real undead zombie? I don't know. Wait and find out. There's different kinds of zombies they show in the movies.
Hey,
so you might just be one.
That dragon juice.
Yeah, might just turn you.
That ever saw Kingsman, where everybody was so
yeah. crazy
tapped in
about
and tried to get the phone, and then at a certain point in time, everybody had pop. So that dragon juice, man.
Yep. Yeah, now they're coming for the little kids. And one thing I noticed is they never stopped the campaign. The propaganda started to die down, but they've been quietly coming for the kids. The 5 to 11 years old, now they're saying 5 and under. So something might happen after they get that, because they started from the elder all the way to the infant newborn. So something might happen, because what's next after that? You got everybody, for the most part. You was gonna say something?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, adding to that point, like, you'll ask somebody, like, yo, what do you want to do? They'll be like, I don't want to go to the park. I didn't ask you what you don't want to do.
Right.
I want to know what you want to do. Like, I literally hate when people, and it's so common that people do that. But that's what I say all the time. This is my response. I didn't ask you what you don't want to do.
Right. No, you're right. You're right, because you'll tell somebody what to do, they'll disagree. Then you ask them, all right, so what should we do? I don't know. What's wrong with you? So be quiet then. You know? Nah, I don't want you to drive. All right, you want to drive? Nah, I don't know how to drive. But I want us to get to our destination. That's the type of shit Jake does. They just want to trigger you.
Especially women.
Yeah. They just want to, they know, it's like they know, oh man, forget it, man. What you got?
Can I finish with this happened?
Yeah, come on.
This is verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Right, so the vision has been written, okay? And now in our time, we're making it plain. We're breaking down hermeneutics, right? We're interpreting the scriptures and giving the understanding of these writings. In this time, that's why we're going through the whole book. Okay, we go through the Old Testament, the writings of the prophets, we go into the Apocrypha, we go into the book of Revelation, prophecies, all of these things. Because in order to break down the book, you got to use the book. You got to go to this precept to break down this precept to break down this. So the Lord had it to where now we got all the chapters in here that we need to be able to break down everything in there. How do you think we understand the scriptures? Of course, it's by the Spirit of the Lord, but you just got to figure it out, because there's precepts. If you come across something you're not familiar with, there's more than likely another precept that talks about that, that'll give you more insight on it. Okay? And you got to use your context on the scriptures. If I know that the scriptures stand for one thing, and if what I'm reading sounds like it's contradictory, I got to rethink that. You know, find another precept.
One thing I must say, all throughout the scriptures, it's historical facts. Like, I'm so thankful for the classes that we have, because these facts that y'all went to school and learned is also tied into the Bible. So how can you dispute the Bible if it's dealing with ancient history that is recorded throughout all secular scholars or whoever teach historical knowledge, theologians, whoever, they always go according to what was spoken about in the Bible.
That's right.
So what we learning right now is not only just spiritual things, it's actual things that happen on the planet Earth that y'all could go back and recap what happened in those time frames, that timeline. You know, so you have something better?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, that's why scripture say precept upon precept.
That's right. Yep. Here a little and there a little. Go ahead.
Just to finish it off.
Hey, real quick, it's like when you're making a meal, you're not gonna use all the spice and use nothing else. You're gonna need to take a little bit of the spices and a little bit of the salt, right? A little bit of this here and there, and that's how you make the meal.
Right.
You know, so here a little, there a little. You got it.
Verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak.
So what does that mean? That means that the vision, which are the prophecies, because the prophets received visions, they were shown these things of the future, is set for an appointed time. The famines, the pestilence, the destruction, that's set for an appointed time, which is now, right? But at the end, which is now, it shall speak, meaning it's going to come to pass. You're going to hear it. It's going to be apparent. Go ahead.
And not lie.
And not lie. When you look that up, that means that we're telling you that the prophecies say this is what's going to happen. So when the time comes, we're not going to be found to be liars. The prophecy is going to be found to be true. So it's not going to be like, oh, I said this was going to happen, but that's not really what happened. So it's like the vision failed. So in this case, it says it's not going to lie. It's not going to fail. it's going to happen accordingly, just exactly as we said it. Go ahead.
If I may say, one of the main prophecies is that MOTB.
Right.
And everybody see it gradually happen. It's a prelude due to whatever is going on in the world in the last 2-3 years. But it's evident now when you see the physical manifestation of that. The elder had broke it down. There's 3 steps to observing this situation that brings forth the MOTB. The realization of, what was it, bro?
The
It's 3
MOTB
steps.
mentality,
The mentality,
the reality,
and
the
the technical, something
something
like that.
Yeah.
You remember them,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's what I'm saying, because now we coming to that point of where it's going to be technical and it's literally there for us. You know what I'm saying? So moving forward, saying, though it tarry, wait for it not. This is verse 3 of Habakkuk chapter 2. Though it tarry, wait for it not, because it will surely come, and it will not tarry.
Right, so though it tarry, wait for it, which is what we're all to do, and that's what we're doing. And that's why the scriptures say, in your patience, possess ye your souls. There's times when we're like, oh Lord, just bring this destruction. But we got to be patient and suffer whatever we're going through, because it feels like the prophecies are tarrying. But it shall come, it shall not tarry. So when it starts kicking and popping, it's not going to slow down. It's not going to pause. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's happening, you know? So here it comes. Precept? Somebody else?
I just wanted to finish that too, but pretty much, prophecy is not going to wait for you. You trying to wait around while before you know it, smack dab in the middle, here you go.
Right.
You smack with it. New laws is created, okay? And your constitution is taken away slowly but surely.
Yep.
You know, that's happening right now before you know it. There is no constitution, you know, and you have to do these things. And those guillotines gonna be waiting for you.
Yep. Hey, the one of the women, I think it was at the World Economic Forum or the World Government, one of their meetings, she said, with all this digital, we're gonna need a new digital constitution. So in order to have she said a new digital constitution. In order to have a digital constitution, you got to do away with the regular, because they want to change up these rights. Because when the old constitution was drafted, there was a different lifestyle, there was a different way, technology was on a different level. But now that they're coming with this new technology, they need to be more invasive. And the old constitution protected against that. So in order to disarm the people and put them under subjection, they need a new one. And in order to have a new one, the problem is getting the old one out of these people's hands. Because these people literally breathe and die that constitution. And that's why Biden is coming after the guns, and they're telling you, look, my man, don't even up in the Senate. They're like, yo, bro, don't fuck around, because it's the same spirit they had back in Rome. The Romans hated to have kings. They hated to have some one authoritative figure. It was like a worst nightmare for them. They would not stand for that. Okay, and so that's why they had consuls. So that's why ultimately they assassinated this guy. You know, it was a conspiracy. But when Julius Caesar basically made himself a dictator, that's when whoa, we ain't doing that shit. You know,
Absolute power.
exactly. So they don't like that. Just like in this time, you try to come for that constitution, they gon' especially you go down to them Edomite neighborhoods, them Bible Belt Edomites, they got guns on guns on guns. They got 7-8-year-old children in the forest hitting, switching the clip like a movie scene.
Shotties and all
Yeah,
that. Little babies.
no recoil and shit. That should throw your ass over the fence and shit. You know, that's Jay.
7-year-old girl holding that shit, doing rolls and all that.
Yeah.
They teaching them from the cradle.
Yep.
But they was blessed with the sword.
Yep.
Esau blessed with the sword. So what they really is afraid of is Esau turning on Esau.
Yeah.
So they're gonna make it lenient to a certain extent. Like, okay, it used to be 18 and you could buy a weapon. Now we're gonna put it up to 21. Esau's still buying guns.
Yep.
Long Island, for 5 barrels, you ain't getting no gun store out here. You know, but those for Esau, they like, nah, we know y'all love y'all guns, we gonna give them to y'all. but it's gonna be stipulations.
But ultimately, they want to take it away because they want to disarm the population. See, these elites, they look at, Esau is Esau, but these elites, they don't even give a damn about these other Edomites. They're like, look, civilians, Goyim, right? So that means all y'all niggas getting stripped of y'all guns because not every Edomite is with what these elites are doing, you know? So some of them are like, no, we're not gonna stand for this. Don't, and that's why he's saying, look, we either ban assault rifles or we increase the age limit. But you know what's gonna happen? Okay, let's increase the age limit. That's gradualism. Because what happens after you increase that? There's gonna be more shootings. And then they're gonna say, see, that's not enough. We did it this way, but that's not enough. We need to just do away with this. And they had something called Jade Helm 15 back in 2015 over there, I believe it was in Texas or somewhere. And
they were doing practice.
Yeah, going door to door, disarming disarming the civilians. You have any weapons in here? You try that shit in real life. The scriptures say one people shall stand up against another with swords in their hands. So when you come and these Edomites say, oh, yo, get the daughters and the sons and everybody out, and you got Jake think that yo, ain't nobody gonna touch me, man. I got a piece on me. I got a stick. A stick? Fuck, what you gonna do with a stick? You know, and they're talking about a gun, but you see Jake in the shooting range. I saw a video of a woman. She said she wanted the big guns. She grabs the fucking shotgun. She ain't holding it right. Yo, she shot the shit and the gun was out. The gun went that way. That shit was out her hands. You know what I'm saying? You got somebody else getting smacked in the face because they try to hold the pistol, but they didn't realize that your shoulders and your arms, everything got to be firm. If you notice when you watch on TV, there's one arm, like if they're holding the pistol, this arm is a little more stretched out, but this arm is a little more bent. And they think it's just for cosmetics. Oh, yeah, oh, shit, yeah, that's me. Oh, look at that. He got the flashlight on there. Whoo, my man is nice. Jake gonna take that shit. Yeah, let me try this shit. Pop his whole shoulder out of place. Now, if you're going up against Edomites, and they're gonna just look at you because Edomites don't expect Jake to be nice with weapons. They see how when you watch on the news, and you see it says, Bronx, this person got shot. What do you usually see? Some nigga with a ski mask. And then they run. And Esau's looking at this shit like, these motherfuckers are supposed to be scared. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at you like, yo, bro, I'll stand there and you can shoot, and I'm sure the bullet's not even gonna touch me. Then I'm gonna take out my gun and then probably just one bullet, I'll put one in your forehead. So Jake thinks I'm protected. You got women walking around and they interview with him on the news about the violence and the sexual assault going on. Well, I think that's why everybody should have something to protect themselves with. You don't even know how to shoot it. And even if you were given the opportunity, I'm sure you wouldn't shoot it. They act all the time. Yeah, shit, don't step to me. I got a gun in my purse. So use it. They can't.
Get it snapped out their hand.
Yeah.
That's what always happens.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna make a couple of points. One point, if you ever want to see to test the Edomite spirit, talk to him about guns.
Oh, yeah.
I actually talked to one of them on the Destiny game about it. He brought up some guns. He was like, how the guns in Destiny ain't as realistic. He didn't like that. I'm like, so I was interested. I'm like, so what do you mean by that? And you know how we can break down the scriptures and go into things like this and that? He was breaking down the science of the weapon. I'm like, what? And he's talking to me like, how do you not understand? I'm like,
Right.
I just had to say, like, okay, I understand you. Okay, I get it. Because the way he was breaking it down to me, I'm like, let me just shut up and be like, I understand what you mean. He's like, I can hear in his voice, he's like, how does this guy not understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's so simple. Like, it's supposed to work like this. And I'm like, shit.
But that's us. You know, we break down the
it's
scriptures like you said.
Our power is not the weapon. Now, also a thing in like, even you have it in video games, right? Like you were saying about how when you hold the weapon, you're supposed to use the support. Now, even in video games, you have something called recoil. When you shoot it, it jumps up.
Right.
And that's the whole reason why you hold the gun with two hands to compensate for the recoil, the kickback or the knockback. When you just go like this in your hand, you can't be precise with it because your hand's going back like this every 5 seconds.
Right.
It's like, how are you supposed to be accurate like that? And if you have someone who's shooting the gun like this with two hands, they can accurately hit you because they can control the gun and hold it steady. Whereas you just going like this, you can't like aim right. Or like in the movie, they be like this. Like, who is shooting like this?
it's gonna make you go up. 'Cause
Yeah,
every
yeah.
shot is raising your arm. You can't bring it back down unless you cock diesel.
Yeah.
You know, that's why those special forces, they use lightweight plastic handled weapons because the less weight, the less kickback.
Yeah.
So
Control
yeah,
it.
they experts. They experts at that, but their weapons is gonna be primitive when it come down to fighting against your own shot.
One more point. The whole thing, I was meditating about this. The whole thing with the whole gun thing, we gotta get rid of assault rifles. That's not gonna fix any problems because you gotta think about it. The whole point, like security, right? The whole point of security or even armed security is to prevent things from happening. If you want to stop people from like attacking schools or whatever, or like the one guy, what was his name? Frank James, he was on the train doing crazy stuff. If you want to prevent that from happening, you should have security at the schools to prevent that, because that's the point of security. Hey, are you authorized to come in here? And you know, and if they're coming out, you gotta make sure that they're not leaving with anything or something like that. You need security in the schools. Now, I don't care if you have security in schools. I really don't care because the Lord's will is still gonna be done.
Right.
But you Edomites gotta know, this is why I'm rooting for you, Esau. They try to take your guns.
Right.
So this is why I'm gonna root for you, Edomites. They try to take your guns, that's what they're trying to do. Because it makes no sense to take away assault rifles or take away all the guns because it still doesn't change anything. Okay, you take away the gun. I can just get a machete and go up in the school and chop some people up. So what does that change anything? The problem is...
Then they got bad machetes.
Exactly. So, okay, then I'll just take a fork.
Bad forks.
So you see, the problem isn't the weapons. The problem is the people. You need security to, why do you think the Lord, when we came out of Egypt, he called us his armies?
Yeah.
You need protection. You need an army for things. You can't not have security or not have armed. Why do you think people have armed security for a bank? To protect what's valuable in there. But here's Esau, oh, we got to ban the guns, we got to get rid of them because these weapons are a problem. No, the weapons are a problem, the people are the problem. And the way this place has groomed people to be, especially Edomites, to be all crazy and willy-nilly with guns, that's why you have, well, it's really, you know, they set things up as well.
Yeah.
But still, that's why, you know, people is going all crazy with the weapons.
Hey, but then the problem now is they say the security was running the other way. You know what I'm saying? You heard of gunshots. I ain't going in that shit, nigga. Because you hear one shot. All right, yo, I need backup. Ain't nobody coming. Then you hear multiple shots and screams. Got a nigga thinking I got a family too. You know what I'm saying? So he try to take the step, but he try to step back a bit, wait for backup. But the point is, like you were saying, ultimately, look, people don't just get up and go and shoot. That's why, you know what they always do? They tie in mental health. Because that's their justification, because they know that shit don't make sense for a normal person to just get up and go shoot. Mass shootings. They can just get up to say mass shootings. For what? So they throw in the mental health. Oh, you know, he wasn't all the way there and yada, yada, yada. But because of that, we still got to ban assault rifles. Now, it's interesting how Biden comes into... So when during Trump's time, where were all the mass shootings at? Why is it that when Biden came into place, and he's been here for a minute, but when he started pushing, we got gun control, that's when all the mass shooters came out. You know, yeah, that's all cute. Oh, it's in Buffalo. You get this nigga's Texas. You get the Frank James. You get over here. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like right on cue. Nobody notices that. It is right on cue, and everybody just eats it up. Now there's one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There was one here in the hospital. Niggas say the guy messed up my back, so I came to kill him.
I think there was one at a funeral.
Yeah, at a funeral, and people are just eating it up. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because these Edomites they're not going to let go of their guns without a fight. They're not going to do it like how they did with the gold. They say they confiscated all the gold and made it illegal, made it a criminal act to hoard gold. So everybody had to turn in their gold by a certain date. You try that shit with Esau, he ain't going to do it.
The guns are the gold.
Exactly, and they ain't giving that up because they know. A lot of them know. Once that's done, these elites, when they go in to take over, they always disarm the people first because they can't afford that resistance. Then you may say, yeah, but they got troops in there. Yeah, but people got numbers. So already having numbers is bad enough, but having numbers with weapons is even worse. You playing a zombie apocalypse video game, you got all the weapons. You pack a punch your gun, you got rocket launchers, you got grenades and all this shit, and yet the zombies still manage to kill you some way, somehow. Why? Because they got numbers. And all the zombies do is run at you, you know, and yet they're able to kill you. So now imagine if the zombies had guns and they were shooting back. Now you can have a special force team, but now you're like, yo, these niggas have horrible aim, but there's too many of them. You know? So they made sure they want to disarm the population first. But it's going to go according to the will the will of the Lord.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it's the reason why these elites, they're making the MOTB voluntarily instead of mandatory, because like if they try to force everyone to get it, then there was always going to be that one person who was not down with the system, and they will always like try to come against them. That's why they want to kill off anybody and everybody who's not down with them.
Yep.
Resistance.
I saw a video, some news channel, about this recent mass shooting, and they said one of the parents was upset because of the advertisement that the gun company put out on the internet or wherever they advertised their weapons, and they're blaming the way they advertised it on the reason why their son or whoever acted the way they did. Like, it's clearly an agenda. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
If your child just went on a mass shooting, or one of your children got murdered by some mass shooter, the last thing you're gonna be fucking worried about, sorry for my language, the last thing you're gonna be worried about is a advertisement from a gun company.
Right.
They need, you know what it was? The reason why my child died is, hold on, let me cry real quick.
Yeah.
The reason why he died is because, you know, the gun company put out a video where there was a man shooting a gun in a city.
Yep.
And that's why my son got killed that day. Nobody's thinking that.
Right.
No, literally no one is worried about what these gun companies are doing with their advertisements. Nobody cares that there's stores selling weapons. This is all BS. All of it is BS. If anyone is concerned about it, it's literally directly from their own agenda, because you hear the same rhetoric. These people go around like, oh, we do need to ban guns because of this and that. They're not saying that because that was an original thought. It's because they heard it, and because they play off your emotions. You see a bunch of children that died, you see all this stuff, and you're like, yo, you know what? We do need to ban guns, but that's a part of the whole, that's the reason they're doing it. They're trying to get people to agree to this. It's not gonna work. The first thing I saw when I clicked on the video was a bunch of Edomites talking about the guns this has nothing to do with it, and we're not giving up our guns. 100, 200, 500 comments. Nobody agrees with what's going on. I didn't see a single comment that said, yeah, we do need to ban guns.
Got a quick precept to back that up. This is Job 12:16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and deceiver are his. Yeah, just because like what the brother was going into on the news, on these different channels, all they do to us all day is push agendas, and they really work off your emotions. And not only that, it's always gonna play into the ultimate NWO. That's what they want to get. They want to make people that are docile mentally. They disarmed you mentally, but they want to disarm you physically, and then they want you to just work for them and be a robot.
Right.
That's what they're trying to turn people into. This digital everything, digital currency, digital metaverse. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what that Neuralink is with Elon Musk. He's trying to
Lift this up. Alright, flip that first.
he ultimately wants to assimilate human beings. You know what? When you simulate something, you replicating it, and he don't want the actual human flesh. Hey, bro, you want something? He don't actually want the human specimen no more. He wanted to be analyzed. Like the whole theory of the Tesla car that he created is non-driving. You know, it's self-driving.
Right.
So, but at the end of the day, you saw what would happen when you have an automated car self-drive for itself in the first test runs, when Uber was allowing drivers to have the self-driving cars. But let's go back even a little bit further with Will Smith and iRobot. You seen what happened when robots took over? He was driving a self-driving car, and the car just automatically just was driving him into a trap. It drove him into the road where it was like, he was like, yo, I can't control it. And it drove him into an ambush to all the other robots. For all of y'all who ain't see iRobot, that was about the world trying to assimilate people into a duplicate of themselves. Remember?
Yeah.
It was like a robot self of you going out in the world to do the work and everything else. And they had a whole bunch of androids that were doing that when the main robot was like, yo, look, we could run this world, fuck humans. And it just traded on them. So, you know, that's a real dumb theory when they it's that kind of level of alteration or AI, because he's one of the leaders he's an elite. Like Bezos and
It's the same thing with
Bill
Terminator.
Gates.
The whole Skynet thing.
Skynet
with Terminator.
when they got online, it took
became
over.
self-aware.
There you
It
go.
took over. Yeah,
There you go. That's what I'm saying. With that New World Order agenda, it's going to be stunning because the Lord is not going to allow that kind of takeover.
Yeah, because ultimately now they're saying that they want you to have digital babies. Forget real world babies. Forget all that shit. You're gonna live in the metaverse, and they're gonna make the metaverse so realistic that you can't tell the difference between real life and the metaverse. And since everything you do is gonna be in the metaverse, real life is gonna feel like it's the virtual world. Because all you're gonna do in real life is if you unplug from the metaverse, you're only gonna do a few things, whether it's eat or piss or whatever you're gonna do, and jump right back into that. So now they're saying, look, you can have the baby, it's gonna be just like a real baby. It can cry, it can talk, it can grow. You get tired of it, cancel it like a subscription. That's it. So you don't gotta worry about it actually eating real food, breathing air, and leaving a carbon footprint. And then you had a primary school in Aussie saying that in 10 years time, they see charagmas inside of their students' brains for intelligence and memory. And when people got on it, they took the post down, but it was still in the Google search engine. So they were still able to catch them. So everybody, the CEO of Nokia, and all of them are letting you know, look, it started with Klaus Schwab when he wrote his book and he started coming out and saying it. And now everybody's telling you straight up, yo, man, they're having a Bilderberg meeting in Washington, D.C. this year. You know, and it's until, I think it ends tomorrow. And then according to the simulation they did on the MP, right, the new thing that's coming out, the monkey, they're saying that according to the simulation on June 5th was when they declared an outbreak. You know, so these devils are, you know, they got this agenda and they got in their mind how they're gonna push it. What they're not counting on is it going out of control, because the Most High is going to take control of this. That's why Jacob's trouble is going to be so bad. They're going to start a control collapse, but the Most High is going to turn it into something far worse. As the scriptures say that evil shall rise, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and the powers shall be shaken. Because this is the Most High show, as you read earlier, the deceived and the deceiver are his. So the Lord picks somebody that he's going to use to deceive the rest. But he controls both of them. Because the deceived is going to believe what the deceiver is telling him, and the deceiver is going to do what the Most High is making him do. You got a precept? What?
I had a point about everything going digital. I was just thinking about it. With the gas prices, a lot of people are going to consider going electric with their cars as well.
Yeah.
And if your car is fully electric, then that means that they can control your car. So let's say, for example, a lockdown happens. That means if they say nobody goes outside, you're not driving your ass nowhere, because they can control the grid from on that level, and they can make sure your car won't start up. Or there'll be cops and all kinds of stuff controlling everything. And if it's digital, they have absolute control. That's the point, and that's what they're trying to get to. Also alluding to the charagma and all of that.
But they said that. They said they want to put a kill switch in cars by 2030. And that's why they want to switch to electric cars, because they can remotely shut off your car. You could be on the highway and they'll just shut it off.
I think that's what the 24-hour cameras is about too. Because remember, it was gradualism, it was the Easy Pass first, where they could mail you your bill without stopping you or nothing. Now, with that automatic 24-hour camera, that shit could probably just literally stop your car.
Yeah.
The radar on that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's doing more than what they say it's all about. Because one of the applications is that you don't use the Easy Pass scanner no more, right, bro? You don't need that no more, right?
No.
That little thing that you put up to the windshield.
No, they could get you like your plate.
Your plate. So it's about cameras now. So cameras is more interactive. Remember, face recognition with cameras. Like once you walk past a camera, all the databases know your face. And once they play that, like criminals who get caught, it's because of face recognition.
But now they're not waiting. Now they're saying they want the technology to be anticipatory, meaning that they ain't gonna wait to say you a criminal. Oh, this man stole something, he's a criminal. No. We suspect that based on his brain signals, his tendencies, how he's been growing up, he might become a criminal. Put his ass in jail. There was a movie with Tom Cruise like that.
Minority Report.
Oh, okay, I never seen it, but I saw a scene from it.
Recall.
Why do you think they got that in the movie? Because that's what they're actually talking about in real life. So they can tell who is going to grow up to become a dissident, meaning in their new world, who's going to grow up to question things. And when you see that kid, like, take him out. He's a little kid, it don't matter. To bring him out, make him an example, and show the world that he has a mental disability. And then try to brainwash him back into society. And if he ain't right, then you got to dispose of him.
I had a point. All the things we're speaking about right now goes to show you how they're going to exclude you from society when that day comes, when you have to make that decision, where they pose that question to you. Are you going to do this or not? Like, you won't even be able to get on the train. Why? Because you need that Omni. And if you don't have the currency that you need, it's all digital now. You can't get a Metro card to do it. You can't do none of that stuff. It's going to be, the Caragma.
Yeah, also with the Uber and Lyft, because before, like New York always have a transportation problem. Because they say it's like 12 million people here, but really it's like 20, counting the illegals and the people that come in from the surrounding states. So with Uber and Lyft, it's a control thing, because before, New York always had a transportation problem, but however, with Uber and Lyft, you got ratings, right? So if your ratings for drivers and riders, if your ratings drop too low, they just kick you off the app.
Oh, wow.
I was talking to this chick, she was like, yeah, I had an Uber account, but I don't got it no more because she kind of brought it upon herself, but it shows you the power that Esau's controlling, having. She was like, due to mad drivers downstarring her, she was loudmouth bitch anyway. I could see why people was like downstarring her and shit. But due to people downstarring her, Uber like, fuck it, I'ma just boot you, we don't need your service. So now she doing Lyft. But if she get booted from Lyft too, but kinda from her doing Lyft gave her like a behavior check. Because she like, even with the mask thing, she was like, I put my mask on, you ain't gonna downstar. Like, people is like more on how they behave, how they act, because they don't want to get like downstar or lose their ratings to the point where your ratings drop. Now you don't got what? Uber or Lyft. That's two of the main platforms, because they killed that whole taxi shit out here in New York City. I mean, it's still around, but that shit gonna die off eventually. So now, and they even was making laws for the yellow cabs that you can't do no more street held, no more flag downs. You gotta get the app and call them too. But the whole New York spirit, especially in Manhattan, like you know what I mean, and just jump in the cab. But what they doing is they controlling the transportation. Because if you blow through your behavior, and it's programming people how to behave. If you fuck up with Uber and Lyft as far as your taxi transportation service, not even just like in New York. Say you move to Maryland or LA and you try to open an account, they gonna still shut your shit down due to your name and your information. They gonna be like, nah, your shit shut down all across the board. you can't use it like nowhere in the world type shit. You know what I mean? Because your account and your name is the same. So what is programming people to do is be more on a behavior check so they can get around town. Because imagine you gotta catch the cab to work every morning and you rely on Ubers and shit to get you to work and get you back, take your kids and shit like that. If you fuck that up, now you kind of like stuck. Or just trying to catch the bus. Now you running late, trying to catch trains and shit like that. You trying to hit these cabs, they ain't showing up, they canceling and all that shit. So that's a control thing too, what they doing with people. You know, like 5 stars, you gonna give me 5 stars? Why do you think people worried about that shit? Because in a sense, they know that if they shit drop too low, they get kicked off and they'd be like outcast from society.
That's like a social credit score system. That there's a episode in Black Mirror.
Yeah, I'm just thinking
like
of that. Yeah.
And I remember one of the scenes. The lady, she went to the airport, and I think she was trying to board a plane to sign after that. She got mad, and she sort of blacked on the lady behind the counter thing, and the lady just took out her phone, and then she basically downgraded the other lady's credit score or her social credit score. And it got so low that she couldn't even board the plane anymore. And then she calmed down. She said, "Look, no, I'm sorry." And anybody could do it. Any interaction you have with somebody, if I have a negative interaction with him, he could take out his phone and drop my score. And she got to the point where her shit dropped to where now she couldn't take a cab. She couldn't do nothing. She ended up in a truck with another lady who also had her credit score dropped. And she was like, how was her transportation. You can't have housing. You can't have anything. You're pretty much on the street at this point, because anybody can either up your score or down your score. Like the other was going into like a rating.
Yeah.
So on any interaction you have, you look at somebody the wrong way.
So that's like the MOTB, because for those who don't take the chip, we only gonna be amongst those who didn't take the chip.
The thing.
Oh yeah, the
It's
thing.
you gotta kind of programs you like, yo, you gotta be on your best behavior.
Yep.
Like I gotta make you talk about cooning or brown nosing. You would have to do that to the maximum degree. Like, listen, I'm dealing with this person. I don't want to say nothing or do the slightest thing to tick this person off because it's gonna fuck with my livelihood. And like the smallest accusation is even if it's false, really the false ones hurt the most. You know?
Downgrade.
Yeah, because like downgrade, you know. So now you kind of got this mentality, like, especially dealing with women, because all this shit goes into population control. You know, in the army they were saying if you look at a woman over a certain amount of time, it's sexual harassment. Because you could look at her, but if you stare at her too long, it's like sexual harassment. Then with this whole Me Too shit and all of that, what Esau has done is made it so difficult to deal with women, and it's so dangerous that they got the Believe All Women movement.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So because any false accusation, you know, rape, abuse, anything false accusation, they gotta take you in. You know, so now they made it so difficult and dangerous. Even rappers and shit, when they deal with these hoes and shit, they make them like sign like waivers and contracts. Like, you're not gonna sue me, you're not gonna say I raped you, and they gotta sign waivers and shit to deal with them. Because Esau gave women so much power with the whole Me Too thing, but really what he's trying to generate is he don't want you dealing with women at all. He don't want you like pushing up on a woman on your job. That's very dangerous. Because if she like you, she'll fuck with you. But if she don't like you and you read into it wrong, that's sexual harassment. She go to HR and your ass out of there. Even if it's a false accusation. That's why I be telling brothers, you know, that certain brothers like yo, don't be talking to bitches on the job. You know what I mean? Because shit go left. And even some jobs got that no fraternizing policy. You know what I mean? Shit go left. She could be like, oh, you ain't talking to me no more. And, you know, she could just hang your whole career. You know what I mean? You be back to square one. But ultimately what Esau is trying to do is He trying to make it so dangerous to deal with women. There's so much shit to be at stake that where you don't just want to fuck with them at all. And that's what men are starting to do, and that helps push population control.
I hit the
Oh, you had a point?
Yeah, I was gonna add to his point. There's even something I forgot what the chick's name is, but she's a celebrity. She was saying something about how if a guy goes into her, if she don't like her, if she decides at some point like, oh, I don't want this no more, that she'll consider that rape. Even though he went in and she consented and said, yeah, we can do this, but if she says at any point I don't want to do it no more, it's rape.
But you know what's crazy, right?
Yeah.
The word rape,
You heard about
the definition of the word rape ain't got nothing to do with sex. Rape is the act of seizing. So technically, rape, sex really shouldn't be associated with rape. It comes when you see somebody, whatever happens after that happens after that. Because you could see somebody and then forcibly have intercourse with them. But when an officer seizes you, that's rape, because he's taking you by force against your will. But what does he do after that? He cuffs you, puts you in the car, and takes you somewhere. So when people think of rape, they think automatically, oh, a woman held down against her will and the man popped her. But that shows you this society a bunch of idiots, because how is she gonna take you to court for rape and you ain't even if everything was all sweet and moody and you didn't have to physically grab her and you guys had sexual intercourse, there's no way she'd come and claim rape. Because by the definition, rape don't got nothing to do with sexual intercourse. So but it shows you the power that these women have, like you said. You know, to be able to do some shit like that in the ancient world, that was unheard of. But in this society, but that's why what the Lord is going to do is he's going to bring the ancient mentality back through Jacob's trouble. He's going to remove all these protections and all of this shit is going to go out the window when all hell breaks loose. Because there's going to be, the elites are going to purposely leave it to where nobody's going to be enforcing any kind of law. They want maximum chaos, so when they do bring the law and the order, it's gonna be on a level you ain't seen before. And that's when the troops come in. Forget this little officers here and there, because they know that at the end of the day, these officers are still human. So there's certain things, certain limits, certain lines these officers won't cross. You know, police officers, man, guess what? I've seen them park at the station and get out, their shift is over, they go about their normal day. So you think an individual like that is going to stare a baby in the face and say, shoot him in the head? No, you got to send them MK Ultra isolated troops.
Robots.
You know? Yeah, them robots that don't
Dark
hesitate.
dogs.
Yeah, that don't have them. Yeah, they got robots doing backflips, shooting guns, getting hit and standing back up, doing parkour. You got a robot running fast like that dude from Get Out. Just coming full like Terminator. You know? And then here it is, the robot don't got a gun, but his hand turns into a gun. That's the
Or a
kind of shit
sword.
they're bringing. Yeah, or a sword, yeah. Yeah.
I think it will.
I remember in Game of Thrones, one of the strongest armies was the Unsullied, and they were eunuchs.
Yeah, they were made eunuchs because they chopped off their rods and shit.
Yeah, that and for them to become like a official soldier, they had to go into a woman's house and kill the baby, like just straight up kill them. That would like kill off all emotions and stuff. And all they have to do is what they have to do.
Yeah, they were like human robots.
Yeah.
They follow all orders without emotions getting in the way. Because a lot of insubordination, most of it comes from that emotion. You know, you tell somebody, do that. That's why they train you in the military, to shut off that emotion. Because that rebelliousness, that's really like a feminine spirit, to rebel against authorities. So they try to shut that off. So that way, if they shut off your emotions and you're like a robot, kill them. Take out the gun, kill them. Put the gun to your head, put it to your head, pull the trigger. That's the kind of level they're trying to train these people to be on, like a robot. If you program a robot to self-destruct, robot ain't gonna say, oh shit, hold up, man, you gotta think about that for a second, you know? He's gonna self-destruct. And that's the kind of troops they send in here. That's why the scriptures say, they shall be like madmen, sparing none. Because when you are sent to kill people and you spare them, what is that a result of? Your emotions. You see women, you see children, they're crying, they're pleading, they're begging. You have mercy. You know what? You'll hide over here. The Lord said they ain't gonna be sparing. So even if they ain't no commander looking at them, in their minds, they're coming to kill, rape, and hurt.
They always had those kind of soldiers in place they call super soldiers, but now they got these exoskeletons to put on those soldiers, and that's a part of the technology. We was bringing it out, the 3 things that we were saying that would bring about the monster.
MOTP.
You know, the digital, the mentality. What else it was?
Reality.
The RFID technology,
Technology.
mentality, and reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Technology,
And
yeah.
with that being said, I'm gonna bring out this chip. I mean, this preset. It's a lot.
You saw that got us messed up.
Yo, man, cause we on them. And this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So let's say they was able to deceive the prophets, which they can't. But you know, we not ignorant of these devices, because this is for like the last 20 minutes we've been giving out all occurrences, and you know, as the Watchmen, we just letting y'all know what they got in store for y'all during Jacob's trouble. You know, that's it.
That's right. You got a precept now?
I was gonna bring it up, but I don't know if it's necessary.
Bring it up.
The reason why I wanted to bring it out is because related to what the elder was saying about like social media, all this social engineering, social credit, which I think that's already in China, right?
Yeah.
They literally have a social credit score. And my point is that I believe all of these things are coming together to be one big thing, which is the concept of a social credit score. I believe this is probably why social media was created in the first place, to ultimately lead to this. This is probably why Me Too was created, and it's to create a hive mind of the do's and don'ts of society.
Right.
But it's really based on what the elites or the higher ups say. Exactly, cancel culture. These are the do's and don'ts of society, but it's based off of the principles of these elites and how they envision society. That goes into pride and how we have to, they force it down our throats. We got to accept these, you know, these fruity people.
ABCs.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with like dating apps and all of that. Because you tell a bitch now you don't have like social media, she think you're a weirdo.
Yeah.
And you don't have Facebook or Instagram, she think you like a bug out. And what who don't have that, and they use that shit to see like what type pictures you have, to see what type of individual you are. Because you know, people come up running game and it take a long time for you to figure them out. But with that, that's used as a you know, a tool to figure out what type of person you're dealing with based off of the type pictures he posted and the people he know and shit like that through mutual friends and all that.
It's a profile.
A profile, yeah. And you know how many fucking police, homicide detectives and shit that solve cases? They just go on the motherfucking Facebook and all of that. Even when the feds came, they like, yo, you got a Facebook or some shit like that? I'm like, nah, I ain't got none of that shit. It's got YouTube. I mean, that's good, a tool to use if you like marketing or you got a business that want to advertise or sell something. But in my mind, if it's not like for the word or nothing like for vain, all that vain ass shit, you know, cause I ain't come up off of shit like that. We had house phones and fucking beepers and shit like that. So like, if that ain't used for like edification of the word, or you got a physical business that you like promoting off of, that shit is vain. It's all for vain glory.
And that's the precept I was going to give. When you're like basically related to this truth and in general, social media is basically making people do literally any act in their life for vainglory.
Yep.
At this point, it's like, oh, I went to this country and I did this. Look at me. Oh, I went here. Oh, look at this book I'm reading. Like people will put any. Look at the food I'm eating. Anything, and it's for. But it also relates to the concept of social credit and all these things.
They shall be lovers of themselves.
Yes.
Dealing with what? And deals with homosexuality on this tip too, like same-sex marriages, the water, and then also men being lovers of themselves, dealing with conceitedness. That's why they call it selfies.
Yeah.
You got bitches taking fucking thousands of selfies in a week. You know, that shit vain as hell, but that lines up with prophecy.
That's right.
Matthew 6. Take heed that you do not arms.
First verse?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up? Matthew chapter 6, off the top, verse 1. Take heed that you do not your alms before men to be seen of them. Otherwise, you have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore, when you do your alms, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have.
That's spiritual slocket, because it's actually a good precept you brought out, because a lot of them that do alms to be seen of men, when you do alms, you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. A lot of them are not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. So you'll find out that they're actually piece of shit individuals, but they're doing that so others can have a certain perception of them. Just like on social media, look, I've worked with people who I've seen their social media and they're two completely different people. I'm like, first off, you're ugly as hell in person. Your personality is trash. But on social media, with how they talk, their stories, the kind of things they post, you're like, yo, I think you're some dope ass person on social media. Damn, this chick is mad bad, and I see your ass at work, and I'm like, hell no. So it shows you that when people force a certain perception on you, more than likely that's not how they really are. Because if you are a certain way, you don't need to force your perception on somebody, you know?
I was gonna ask that. Work is a good place to find out how people are, because you get to see them in their element and how they really are with certain situations they're facing. Like I used to work at a nursing home, so some of those nurses, you may see them on the street, or it may, holler at them, and you might have never known that, oh, they work at the same place you work at. I'm like, oh, she's nice, but then you see her at the same place you work at a nursing home. This woman's a complete bitch.
Yes.
And then you see how she interacts with certain people. She's rude. She talks mad, mean on the phone. So it's like you just don't want to deal with them.
Hey, there's something about nursing, man, that I don't know what it is, but a lot of them be just mean as shit. But every woman want to be a nurse, CNA, RN, and then you get there and you complain about how miserable your life is. So I'm looking at this shit, I'm like, yo, man, it's rare that you meet a nurse that's nice. A lot of them got a stank face. They got like, especially at work, they got this like angry, like somebody hurt them face. And it's like, bro, why do you want to be here? Like, if I was a patient, I'd be afraid that you're taking care of me, because you look like you really don't care if I live or die. Catching attitudes of patients. If you don't like your mess, so don't take it then. Oh shit. take my family member out that nursing home, because I have that shit.
All you bitches do is pass meds, man, and document the ones in the nursing home. You got different types of nurses. But the ones in the nursing home, all y'all do is fucking talk shit all day, pass meds and document that shit. Maybe change a bed sore for a foot room or some shit like that, and then come home.
They barely changed it, because the old place I was working at when I first came in, the thing at Coney Island, you go up in them floors, go in one of the rooms, you won't be able to go in there. Stink. Stink. You can't walk in there. I remember the first day I worked.
Flesh rot.
Not just that, shit, everything.
I know they don't turn them, because when you got bed sores, you're supposed to turn them every 3 hours. So that the bed sore can heal, but you leave them sitting on the bed sore. That's why, man, I was fucking with my mother one day. I'm like, man, when you get real old, man, I ain't taking care of your ass. I'm gonna dump you in the nursing home. It's her whole fucking, she was all happy and shit, her whole shit switched. Because, that shit is a nightmare for an old person. Shit, just send me straight to the spirit world. Them nursing homes be doing motherfuckers dirty. If you ain't got a love child that to take you in and try to take care of you, it's a wrap, man. You know what I mean? You try to get into a prestigious one, but even still, they don't be doing what they supposed to do.
Yeah. The people ask, hey, is this a good nursing home that I should bring my family in? He was like, listen, let me tell you something. Just keep this on the low. And he would tell them the truth. It's like,
damn.
Because he said that place back in the day, like in the 90s and stuff, he said actually used to be a good place. They'd serve you food and everything for the workers. But since Amalek got in there, and now it's like, because he said back when he was working there, they used to have multiple security guards to watch over the place and have it secure. But now, when I worked there, you only had two. One upstairs and one in the garage. Because Amalek don't want to pay for extra security guards because it's cheap. He don't want to spend the money.
But that shows you how even this whole society, every aspect of this society just downgrading, and that's because these elites themselves are ready to let it go. they literally like let it go and push that bitch and drown her in the water, and then that's it. When the dead body comes, we replace it. That's what they're trying to do. As of right now, we're talking, they said from last week to this week, gas went up 21 cents within a week. 21 cents within a week. This joint is at 480 something as the national average. That's 20 cents away from $5. So, and I think in was it Los Angeles? There was a certain gas station for like $9 a gallon. Soon you're gonna be paying $10 for a gallon. There's people paying $140 to fill up their tank. Now you gotta decide: am I gonna pay for the electricity bill, or groceries, or buy gas in the car? Forget everything else, because I'm not even thinking about affording that, you know. But am I gonna pay for these things? And out of these things, soon it comes down to which one can I pay, you know? So when people are driven into that corner, what you think they're gonna do?
At my job, they charge $10. I work for a rental company. If you bring the car back, not with the gas that you left with, it's $10. So they offer you the option before you check this car in. You want to go and get some gas? Because if you give it to us as is, and you like 3 gallons short of what you started with, that's $30.
Oh, $10 per gallon. Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that shows you, man. This place is on its way out, man. They keep warning about what the world is gonna look like by the end of the summer. Because remember, winter shit is harder in the wintertime. And they have different outlooks. Like from now, they'll say, okay, it's looking like things might be looking real bad at the end of the during the fall. But then halfway into this month, more shit could come and add on to that, where they gotta revise that forecast and say, no, it's not gonna be looking real bad. It's definitely gonna be looking very bad. Because the Lord said that what? It's just gonna be hell after hell after hell. You read that in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, that when it comes, it's not gonna tarry. So when the Lord said famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places are the beginning of sorrows. So when we see those things, we know what? We're in the time of sorrows. And it's gonna increase and increase and increase until it's at a point that it's never been before, aka Jacob's trouble. Finish on that?
Also on that point about the gas, I got people at work that drive. I have this man I work with, he drives from Staten Island. He said the gas goes over 5, he can't go to work no more.
Damn.
Oh,
He's been there for like 4 years. So the gas going too high is gonna end some people's careers.
2nd Ezra 16.
Continuing on Matthew
68.
Matthew 6, this is verse 2. Therefore, when you do your alms, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward.
There you go. They have their reward, and that's that vain glory. But the true reward they ain't gonna get, you know. But yeah, we're going. When the brother finish, we're gonna get on that. We're gonna finish it off with that 2nd Ezra 16. Read from 68 down to about 73.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you.
And that's gonna be them troops that they're gonna bring. Okay, go ahead.
And they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols.
And that's them camps that they're gonna open up. And they're gonna get certain people, certain of you, they're gonna grab and they're gonna throw you in there. And that thing they're gonna feed you is ultimately gonna be that MOTB. Because when they throw you in the camp, they need to identify who you are. It's like being a prisoner being processed into the system. They're not just gonna let you go.
They give them jail numbers and shit.
Yep. And in this case, like a digital ID that's gonna tie you to everything. So once you in there, they're gonna give you that thing.
I think I posted in the chat, I think Trump said something in that video I posted in the chat, but I think it was either him or somebody said something. They want to start making schools or certain buildings with only one entrance in.
Oh, look at that.
Like Walmart. Walmart only got one way in, one way out. Then when you flip Walmart around, it's martial law.
Yep.
WAL, backwards is law and mark. And they even though martial is SHALL, but martial law just means a warlike type of law. And the way you spell martial as far as fighting and war is MARTIAL, like martial arts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got assholes. It ain't spelled like that. It's martial, SHAL, but no martial martial arts is M-A-R-T-I-A-L. Martial arts, like a warlike type art.
Right.
So Walmart, M-A-R-T, is just short for martial law.
Right,
when you
right,
flip
right.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you check out Walmart, that shit is the way that shit is designed. There's only one way in. There's no windows in that bitch. No, there's only one way in that motherfucker and one way out.
Yeah.
Concentration camp.
Yeah, they show you in the trailer for Gray State that it was fenced and you had troops on the inside, and I think it was an old Walmart building. And they had the food and people were outside the fence trying to get in because the troops had the food. So go on.
Verse 69. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision.
Right, and when you consent, that means you agree. You know, you submit yourself, and people are gonna think that when the time comes, oh, I'm gonna just go with what they're saying, you know, and it's gonna be all right. No, it's not. You're gonna consent unto them, and what's gonna happen to you?
And in reproach and trodden underfoot.
There you go, and in reproach and trodden underfoot, because they're gonna realize this is not what I thought it is. Go on.
Verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
And that's why we're gonna need that divine intervention. That's why we're gonna need the Lord to intervene, to step in on our behalf. That standard to be lifted. Go ahead.
Verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none.
And that's gonna be these troops. Now, not mad in the sense of if somebody is just lost their mind, they got no chill. You know? Somebody that's, they'll call them mentally ill. They don't have a chill. You know, that's why you gotta watch out for them, because the dude will kill you just like that. What do they call them? Sociopaths? You know, they can't tell between right and wrong. They just do shit. You know?
They don't have like an emotion behind like a tragedy.
Yeah.
Like they actually feel nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're like, yo, isn't you sad that all them babies died? They'd be like, yo, like they just like emotional.
That's it. So that means blood is like nothing in their sight. I mean, you know, people have trouble dealing with guilt, you know, and the fear. Like, yo, if you gotta kill somebody, that's saying that, yo, damn, yo, I just took somebody's life. That shit messes with you. But if you don't have that restriction, but that's what they do. They try to strip that away from these troops so they can fulfill that. Go on.
They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Go ahead.
For they shall waste and take away their goods.
And that's in the FEMA executive orders. They're gonna come into your houses. They're gonna confiscate you, your property, railroads, communications, electricity, all of that. Go on.
And cast them out of their houses.
And cast them out of their houses. And where are they gonna take you? They're gonna come into your house and they're gonna take you out and relocate you. Go ahead.
Then, it's like verse 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen.
And why? Because the Lord is going to intervene on the behalf of his elect, to where it's going to be undoubtable that, yeah, these are the chosen of the Lord. Because we're going to be calling on the Lord and things are going to be happening. How did they know that the Lord was dealing with Moses? By the things that the Lord did by his hand. Go on.
And they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
So even though we're going to be delivered, we're still going to go through some trying times that are going to test our faith. It's going to test how much do we believe the words that we're speaking. And ultimately, how much do we trust in the Lord? Do we actually trust in him with our lives? And if you do, you'll be rewarded with salvation. Go ahead.
Right, some brothers gonna have to actually give up their life to actually go through that test. You know, they always, some brothers will be martyrs. And they always, like, oh, I'll just pass this test, I'm good, but the Lord will like, nah, the test is that you give up the ghosts in my name.
Right.
Now, they who stay faithful to death, I will give you a crown of life.
That's right.
They strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for it. So you gotta have that, like I'm willing to go all the way out for the Lord if I have to. You gotta have that. Because that's what Esau threatened Jacob with. When you check it out, he threatened Jacob with jail and death. And I'm gonna give you all this time and shit, or I'm gonna kill you, or this and that. So Jake get in line. But when you don't have a fear of jail and death, this devil ain't got no power over you.
That's true. Yeah, and that's why Job said, though he slay me, yet will I maintain my trust in him. And if you can lock yourself in that mindset, then you're gonna be good. Those are not this moment. Yeah, read up to where it says he the most high is your guide. Yeah.
Verse 73 again. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same.
There you go. So we got to trust in those words. The Lord said the days of trouble are at hand. He already knows because he's bringing it, but he's going to deliver us from the same. Go on.
Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts. Saith the Lord power. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves.
God. Yeah, and that's basically, you know, the important thing to keep in mind is that the Lord said he's going to deliver us from these days of trouble. So be it famine, pestilence, death, the sword, whatever it may be, the Lord is going to deliver us from it. Even in death, we're going to be delivered, you know, because he's going to comfort us and lead us down the right path. You know, so hey, brothers got any? Oh, you got something?
A little quick point. The elder always says that, you know, death is just a transition from, you know, from this world to the spiritual. And I forgot where I seen this article, how they say that people had near-death experiences. They said it was like euphoric, like they feel like a release from life. So that lets you know that once your spirit leaves his body, you know, you feel free. It's like, I'm out. The spirit don't got to be pressed down by the body no more.
Like that 50 Cent shit, you know, because he Jake, but he don't know that, but spirit sometimes jump on these rappers, just say something. He said, death gotta be easy because life is hard. And even though that you gotta take that with a grain of salt, because really life's supposed to be easy too, but you know, that's just, you know, dealing with the opposite of living in this hell.
Yeah, that's why I say rest in peace. You know, and so, hey, Lord willing, you know, we endure to the end. As we titled it, here it comes. So brace for that time, because it's upon us, man. And have the faith in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, Lord willing, to be delivered out of here. All right. So with that, we're going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.